I wrote to the Governor General recommending the declaration of a state of public emergency.
What is a state of emergency?
A state of public emergency is now in effect. Under state of public emergency, the security forces will have extraordinary powers, and some rights are suspended.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Thursday, January 18, 2018 declared a state of emergency for St. James, giving law enforcement officials special powers to deal with the outbreak of violence in the Western Jamaican parish. The government has long resisted calls for the implementation of a state of emergency to curb crime in St. James. But with bloodletting in the parish continuing this year after closing 2017 with a record 335 murders, the Andrew Holness-led administration has finally caved in to those demands. Citizens' rights under the state of emergency.
This does not mean that the use of these extraordinary powers can be arbitrary or are beyond review. The declaration of a state of public emergency does not mean the suspension of the rule of law. The security forces are expected and have been directed to treat citizens with respect and protect the dignity and safety of all.
The state of emergency allows
extraordinary powers have been given to the security forces to search, curtail operating hours of business, access to places, and for the detention of persons without warrant.
These actions will not be done randomly, however.
Effective communication will occur by order and in accordance with the Emergency Powers Regulation.
When is a state of emergency issued?
The Constitution provides that a period of public emergency can be declared by a proclamation if the Governor General is satisfied that action has been taken or is immediately threatened by any person or body of persons of such a nature and on so extensive a scale as to be likely to endanger the public safety. The Emergency Powers Act refers to the existence of a state of public emergency and empowers the Governor General to make regulations during a period of public emergency.
A state of emergency is issued by the Governor General on advice from the security forces pursuant to Section 26 of the Constitution.
I have been advised by the security forces in writing that the level of criminal activity experienced, continued, and threatened is of such a nature and so extensive in scale as to endanger public safety.
Which states in subsection 4 that a period of public emergency means any period during which Jamaica is engaged in any war. There is in force a proclamation by the Governor General declaring that a state of public emergency exists, or there is in force or resolution of each House supported by the votes of a majority of all the members of the House declaring that democratic institutions in Jamaica are threatened by subversion. According to subsection 5, a proclamation made by the Governor General shall not be effective for the purposes of subsection 4 unless it is declared that the Governor General is satisfied that a public emergency has arisen as a result of the imminence of a state of war between Jamaica and a foreign state, or as a result of the occurrence of any earthquake, hurricane, flood, fire, outbreak of pestilence, outbreak of infectious diseases, or other calamity, whether similar to the foregoing or not, or that action has been taken or is immediately threatened by any person or body of persons of such a nature and on so extensive a scale as to be likely to endanger the public safety or to deprive the community or any substantial portion of the community or supplies or services essential to life. Subsection 6 states that the proclamation shall remain in force for a period of 1 month, unless revoked earlier or extended by the House of Representatives via votes of a majority or all the members of the House.
The proclamation by the Governor General declaring that a state of emergency exists and regulations made under the Emergency Powers Act have now been gazetted. Resort to a declaration of a state of emergency is the ultimate tool that the government can utilize to restore peace and reclaim public order and public security in a community. Again, this does not mean, as the Prime Minister has pointed out, that the upholding and respect for human rights have been abandoned. In fact, they will be preserved and protected. Further, there will be an emergency, under the Emergency Review Tribunal, appeals can be made in accordance with the regulations.
This video was made possible through the continued generosity of my patrons. To become a patron, follow the link in the description below.
The struggle is real. Now watch you know. A rapper crapper they represent for teach them. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and so make sure you subscribe. The channel is real. Come back for more.